Today, we are here specifically to listen to the voice of the Mayor of the City of Monrovia, His Lordship Jefferson Koijee. He will be speaking to us on some critical issues of national concern, specifically as it relates to the postponement of the official trip to Lofa County, one of the sub-political divisions of the Republic of Liberia. Before I turn this pendulum over to the Lord Mayor, His Lordship Jefferson Koijee, let me recognize the presence of P. James, Financial Controller of the City Government of Monrovia. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like for all of you to turn your phone on silent or you switch it off. Two options, take one. At this critical juncture, I would like to turn over the microphone over to His Lordship Jefferson Koijee, Lord Mayor of the City of Monrovia, to speak to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so kindly. Let me recognize the fact that we are most pleased to always have you, our good friends, especially the full president, in our person, to convey our message to our constituents. On behalf of the city government, we want to seize this moment to extend our deeply appreciation and congratulations to our Muslim community who just preserved 30 days of fasting and praying for our country. We also want to say thank you to the Monrovia City Government family who just organized, named and styled Ramadan dinner in appreciation to our Muslim brothers. For us, our leadership is to enhance the religious tolerance in which Ambassador Weah is so dearly interested. And we think the way to do that is to continuously demonstrate that on our activities. Since the inception of the country that's been reposing us by His Excellency the Ambassador Weah, we have embarked on this brilliant initiative, and unless they just ended the pandemic that are confronting our country, and not just only unique to our country, but the war at large. We also, and let the message go forward, it's not just also the Muslim community, we also engage, and you can be aware, I'm a Christian, particularly a Methodist by denomination. We also here preserve an Easter engagement. Whenever there's Easter around, we also engage, we also have an Easter dinner. It is a time we can be fellowship, because Liberia is largely a religious society. You may not be interested in telling you exactly what religion you are compulsory to believe in, but we are respectful of each and every one of those religions in this country. So as such, we want to say thank you to our distinguished Muslim brothers. I said yesterday on the Ramadan dinner, they get the tongues, of course, both for the American and who some people don't see it we are here, some people appreciate it, and some people think it's a platform where people go up. We want to say to you on our leadership, we reserve the right to protect the right of people to see. We also protect the right of people not to see. We are here to foster. Liberia is the only singular matrimony that we share collectively. So we will do everything possible to ensure that the sanctity of this country will not be undermined by any insensitivity of religious insensitivity. So we respect the fact that we here as the chief administrator of the city, we want to say to you, we continue to engage. Sometimes people think that is not our way, but we want to say to you, we have many ways to engage. Why is it one of our primary responsibility to ensure that the city of Monrovia is clean, green, and safe. You may want to think about safety, security matters a lot. You don't want to be in a city where the citizenry are threatened and their security is at stake. There are a lot of stuff that are going on, but we are gradually trying to cope and come up to date so that we, in the middle week of the Monrovia city, can feel a little bit pleased. The other aspect, we're working also, we making subscribe. We want to be very grateful to our international partner, the Union, the World Bank, and a couple of them. We are making, like I said to you, we're hoping this year we can be able to transition from what we are collecting our waste to primary waste collection, where we can begin to engage waste directly and particularly from our respective homes. Our people have the culture of just taking waste and placing it into public places, and people do not pay for it. And the private sector, people feel that people doing it in skirmishes, but it's not organized, it's not well structured. Even those of the people who goes around collect the CBE, who collect the community-based entrepreneur, who collect the waste, when they go, they have nowhere to place it. They take it to the skip bucket, and they don't pay even to the Monrovia city government. But all people know is that this city must be clean. It's true, the city must be clean. The city must be clean in collaboration with your attitude, with your mindset. And what mindset is to change your mindset, your approach, and how you govern and how you approach. So with that, we are certainly getting there. Hopefully, we want to move from where we are. I'm glad that we have the Director General who is far seated over there. Gandhi is seated here. He's doing tremendously well with our little resources, with the challenges we're doing. And we try to do that together. It is our fundamental responsibility to ensure we live up to that. We want to say to you, we want to use this time to say to you, we'll be moving into Waterside, the long-standing project. We'll be sending for the end of this month. We will be communicating. Now we're communicating to our people. The marketeers. We send our community-based people there to educate them that those structures were built for them to use them. It's not for them to abandon them. There will be a strict jacket rule on that. We come there to educate them. If you want to sell the Waterside, you have to utilize those structures. In this country, he also think it quite appropriate to also solve some of those immediate ones that is directly confronting the Liberian people. Take by example, the University of Liberia. It was one of the long-standing issues where students down in terms out were protesting, was a disenchantment, but he said, under his leadership as president, he thought to move in to alleviate the student community from such a burden. Where an ordinary student, you would not have to worry yourself about transportation, about meal to eat, and at the same time about rental, and at the same time trying to pay. You can be squatting with your friend, you can be rest assured, and you can go to school, and you got no headache about tuition. He intervened on that. Not only he did that to the University of Liberia and all the public universities in our country, he also looked down to school, high school students. And now, during our days of call, white and that is wise. He taught that there are a lot of vulnerable kids, parents are a lot of right? So the government will begin to share that responsibility so that whilst we're being paid by government, it's strenuous. Can you imagine with a very strenuous economy, with a lot of, with a lot of competing priority in the country. But this president, United States, trying to reach across the aisle, trying to solve some of the issues that matter most to the people's lives. Some of the issues that we address. We're not saying to you that all is well. what is real estate, but he's committed in ensuring that those daunting challenges will be taken on head on, will be confronted by him as president. Today, we want to say to you, as the son of Lofa County, we have privilege to announce to our sons and daughters of our county, a county that known for its productivity and prayer Baxter, the sons of Lofa, without no malice, without no prejudice, but to state clearly what Lofa represents is people of humble culture, hard-working people of sincerity, people of integrity. I want to say to you, the president, because of the bad condition of the rules, President Tree could not materialize the goal 17. It should have been expected to be today is the 17th of May. Today the president was expected to arrive in Lofa County. I want to say to our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Lofa County, the zoos and the chiefs, the farmers and the hunters, I want to say to you, the president being very magnanimous, being very developmental oriented, otherwise he could not just go to Lofa because of the Lofa. He tried to intervene. As I speak to you currently, machines are on the road trying to solve some of those situations. Most especially, he will take the challenge to go to Lofa when people think that it's a difficult to go there on a rainy season. He have pledged, he have committed by the grace of God that beginning June 3rd, he will be with the people of Lofa County. So we have come here, and I know people will say, what are you announcing that? Why you are the mayor? Why you have to say that? I want to say to you, we are sons of Lofa, and we are proud sons of Lofa. We have no prodigies. We want to say to you that yesterday, we thought wise, we've been heavily involved in ensuring to demystify some of the falsehood about the country. We, the Fians, are humble people. We are people who respect leadership. We do not want some of those mispropaganda, trying to misconstrue the facts that the people of Lofa are not interested in this regime, that the people of Lofa are fixated to a particular dimension. That is not true. It is a conspicuous misinformation. So we must come and say to you, now, another one who said the president is disinterested in Lofa County. That is not true at all. A lot of sons and daughters of this country are seated perfectly well in this government, and they are contributing towards this government, the sources of this government. So I want to say to you that the president is interested, he's enthusiastic, he's prepared to enter Lofa County like second to none. We can assure you, all of the counties that you have witnessed the entry of the president, if you haven't taken anything seriously, we want to commit to you here publicly. We can go to them. The arrival of His Excellency, Dr. George Weah, will be a triumphant entry in Lofa County. You can be assured that those of our honor, in fact, we realize that other countries are making arrangements to be part of that history. You know, when we say to you, Lofa is the home of all Nigerians. Lofa is a place that all Nigerians are comfortably interested in finding out. We did that during the county week, when we said to you that we are prepared to take the county week, and you saw Lofa took this country by storm. Everywhere you turn, there's nothing you could not talk about Lofa. We are prepared to do that for you. We are prepared to showcase that. We want to say to our brothers and grandchildren, brothers and sisters in Maryland, and all over, Conway, Nimba, everywhere you can think. On the tear, Lofa is a place to be. You do not want to miss that in your life. You want to be part of history, so that your friend will not question you why you didn't form part of that history with you. Lofa, the people are prepared. The people are the people of Lofa County. Lofians are prepared to disrupt you with hostility. What you call to be very hospitable with you. We are hospitable people, so we will disrupt you. We being very kind. We will show there will be no shortage of food in Lofa County. We can assure you that along you enter Lofa, beginning the third Lofa, you need not to ask for food. You will be fed as long as you remain on the trip. Anything you offer, you should not, they will not be paid for. No fear that when people will serve you hot water, when people serve you food, you will be carried away, you will be entertained. And I've been told that one of the best songs being sung in this country, the hill from Lofa County. The voices you want to listen to, those voices of songs of hunters and what you call farmers. So you can, anything before the shop of entertainment, Lofa can rest assured. Mr. President, I want to say thank you for giving us the privilege to say to you that we are owned and you can go to bed. He will go to places that no president have been to in Lofa County. You can assure you that places that the president have never visited Lofa County because Lofa is prepared to stimulate the president mindset to doing more. Lofa is a country and people, there is people, and you will be very much comfortable and you will be well pleased that Lofa is a place. Lofa is a center, it's a melting point, it's a center of attraction for Liberia. In fact, it is the biggest reserve in this country called the Wologisi Mountain. It is the only reserve what you call the country can feel very proud. All of the other reserves have been engaged on Lofa. The Mount Wologisi is still reserved. Not just only for Lofian, but the entire.
We want to appreciate the Lord Mayor for that excellent presentation. And at this time, we would like to turn to the members of the press. At most, we are going to entertain 4 questions. Recognize you. Okay, no problem. So the mayor said anyone can ask questions. So we will identify you by your hand when it is being raised. Call your name, your media institution, and go ahead with the question or comment. Yeah. Hold on.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. My name is Emmanuel Davis, and I do work for Fortune Television. Well, I do have a couple of concerns that I think I will give my colleagues an opportunity as well to ask their questions. I know you just skim over it a little, but I want to get not a synopsis, but an in-depth explanation of why, the WHY. Why are you talking about bad road condition to Lofa, when in fact, the Southeast is much more deplorable as compared to Lofa? A few months ago, I was in the Southeast. I know how it looks like. And also, I was in Lofa a few months back. I do know, comparatively, when you look at the 2 regions, Lofa is much more better. Why are you fronting for the president's trip cancellation at this time? And also, a B to that question is, why are you speaking? Public Works is not saying anything. Executive Mansion, Information Ministry, but the mayor, who is plugged with the authority to clean our city, Monrovia, is deep into politics. Thank you.
But interestingly, mayor as politicians, so there's no difference there. To be a mayor, you understand politics very well. So first of all, to see you serve as the chief administrator of the city. So you learn divorce from politics. Man by nature, we say one of those philosophers who stated what was Socrates, what Aristotle was Socrates, one of them said that man by nature is a political being. With that being said, I can say to you, even among you journalists, when you were asking me, I said, Jennifer, one nodding your head saying, no, man, I was even Lofa. So if you have an opportunity to ask questions, you will say, Mayor, your comment, but very well. But I said, that's it. There will always be competing interests, no matter what you say. Even though you are a journalist, I've been told you from the Southeast, I admire the fact that you want to speak for where you came from. Well, I'm from Lofa County, and I owe no apologies for that. I'm proud to be there. I'm saying to you, this president has visited the Southeast. He has an arrangement, he has engagement towards the Southeast. In fact, when you come to take a deep reflection, the president has said, the coastal harbor, he has always fled issue. If I will speak to you currently, there are even a work current going out in the southeast. Well, he was supposed to go to Lofa County, but because of the deplorable condition, your consideration about Lofa could be quite different from what Public Works thought. So Public Works has said, since to take the president there, they thought that they needed to make some immediate intervention. It is predicated, against that. Public Works decided to intervene. Well, you're right. Public Works should be saying that. The mayor has the right to disseminate information, and that was when, after Lofa County, I played pivotal role for his arrangement on Lofa, and I've been, heavily invested into the arrangement about that. So I thought it's appropriate enough, since we were, the faces and the drivers in ensuring that the president has a comfortable arrival in the stadium of our country. It is fair enough, like I said to you, people of culture. We were on radio, mobilizing our people, inspiring our people to go there. So the fair things to do is to come back to the public and say to them not to be seen disrespectful. Today, when our people are expecting the president to be, we who were trumpeting the drum major for his arrival, it's quite fair enough to be use the same medium to communicate. That doesn't change our responsibility as a mayor. It doesn't even change our responsibility of cleaning your city. I don't think you have issue with the mayor trying to multitask. As I speak to you, I focus on few other issues, but again, we want to see clearly things are on course. Lofa is a place to be. We want to share with our people, our elders who are respecting our people. But there are a lot of things we have done. So, well, to answer your question, when you turn to this synopsis, we're always going to spend our time, but we tell you exactly, you can define it. And information about that question is not that it's a particular interest. People will make that decision. There are a lot of things we speak on here. We don't say, because the information ministry is not saying that we can't see. We involved, because we involved, we are answerable. Because we are answerable, we must communicate our answers.
Well, thank you, Mayor Jefferson Koijee. My name is Peter Moyiga from the Liberian Media Incorporated. I work for BCTV. In terms of keeping the country green and safe, how is the state of the road?
Well, until we get there, the state say to you we have challenges towards that. We're working towards that. I said to you, it's not us. You journalists, our residents, our donors, and everyone. Well, the way things were bad, things are not like that anymore. Our current transfer station is well cleaned. So now we have Central Monrovia, our people can move in. When we try to move that one time, we try to climax our engagement when we come to the landfill. With the support of the World Bank, hopefully we'll be moving to our new landfill, Chisholm, where we have 100 acres there. It will be a new landfill. We have some, and that's what I'm saying to you before the end of this year. We'll be having been interested in ensuring transitioning from what is known to a primary waste collection, where we can be able to be engaging the waste from your recipient, where now people can go and just collect it. And we also think we're trying to cultivate a block system where each community will be divided into several blocks. And when it is divided into blocks, where our CBEs will be able to empower them, we move in, so that you don't have to come on the street and put your waste anymore. Told the marketers, the marketing association, I will speak to you in deep crossing, there's a lot of confusion. Those are one of our challenges that we have. Those are people who produce a lot of waste, but do not pay for their waste. And they just place it and say trying to embarrass. But all those issues are the complexity we talk about. talking about it should not be misconstrued that we complain. We find a solution about that. And that's a very good question. We speak to you on the average. We're doing pretty well. We're hoping to be quite good so that our people can be very pleased with our work. But as a now, we're making some strides that seems to be much better than yesterday.
Thank you very much. My name is Sekou. I'm in Adakwane. I will do for Stronger Family TV. Since the ascendancy as mayor of the Morovia City government, there have been several challenges confronting Morovia City government in terms of fighting waste management. In order to fight waste management, it should be the collective effort of every citizen. What have been your call to citizens of Morovia and its environment in terms of fighting waste management? What are the modalities the Morovia City government is working on to mitigate some of those challenges that is confronting MCC in terms of fighting waste management? And my last question has to do with, will you be with the president on his county tour to Lofa County comes June? Thank you very much.
The first one, that question, you can answer yourself. And I think you said collective approach. I think that become our mantra, each and every one of us. It should become a mantra because when it is considered in such a way, we make some effort. Because certain places, you read the place in your way, it's everybody's business. It's everybody's business. And it's good that it's been echoed by you as a journalist, because no single person got the resources or institution got the capacity to do it. Because waste, it is a, what do you call it? It is a daily business. Waste is produced on an hourly basis, on a minute basis, every time people produce. Job eating is synonymous to men. The how waste is synonymous to us. As you eat, you transform it into waste. So your activities is transformed into waste. So it is a huge challenge. We are very certain that under our leadership, there will be a well-articulated joint solution, whether in our present or in our absence, that whosoever come after us will not have to confront those challenges that we confronted after our predecessors. We're going to show you that. We're trying to put a system into place so that whether we hear or not, that will be addressed. I think I want to say thank you for highlighting that. That is our point. On the issue of Lofa, obviously, the fact that I said before we were trying to tell you the cancellation of the president engagement with Lofa, and I don't only me, I'm trying to encourage among us. We have a place in Lofa country. I'm trying to encourage all of you people. Lofa becoming a bastion of hope and opportunity. It's just a matter of time that we want to move. If Lofa move, you will reject Morovia. I can say that for you strictly. Just a rule. If Lofa become Nima County a quota, a few people will stay in Morovia because Lofa has almost everything. A few people. Always say to you Liberia, the day Lofa will see quota in 4 years, I can say to you, there will be a sharp depopulation of Morovia instantly because people got no interest. Like, can you just come here and just come and pass and go back? Because the seniority of Lofa is so glaring, it's so fantastic. So in short, young man, God's willing, good health, we will comfortably be on the president. In fact, I will be ahead of the president because by customary tradition, I should be receiving him in Lofa County. So we pray for long life, we pray for good health, and we will be here. So we want to say thank you. You can go to bed, be expecting us receiving the president.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah, Baba.
William Baba. Thank God you spoke about the dinner last night. You continue the dinner with the Islamic community since the Senate as mayor of the city. But last night the chief imam made a threatening statement that boss, President Weah or others, maybe the police or the security apparatus, for the chief demand to appear, answer some questions, and if you with that is as a statement cause any problem to your political life?
You see, we talking clearly about what transpired, but again, not for you, Mama. A lot of people following us. And we don't attempt to delve into the intricacy of what you're trying to imply. People normally say to you, threat is considered two things. Before it becomes threat, it should commiserate with the capacity. So, let's consider whether, do you have any history of the chief demand become or have ever perpetrated violence or threat? Does he have the capacity to match what quote-unquote you want to turn into that? So sometimes when comments are made, you reflect on historicity. When it doesn't surmount to that, sleeping dog go to bed. Chief Imam came to a program, claimed he spoke through a microphone. Same yesterday up to now, and that comment raveled any semblance of destruction. Until now we say no. Do we have the capacity as the government to contain? We don't seek permission to provide governance and protection for the Nigerian people. I think the NSA is equipped, the police are equipped. They do not go around sneezing for everything that is your own. They don't catch fresh food for sneeze. So I want to say to you, in my opinion, the chief man attended our program. He expressed his emotion, his feelings. In the same comment, he asserted, when you journalists, you asserted that the Muslims of this country have never and will ever get involved in violence. Do you want to speak to that history? Any evidence to that? Obviously, yes. There was no history of violence. We're not talking about skirmishes. It cannot be used as a yardstick to define them holistically. So on that day, I can say to you from my lenses, as both as a political pundit and a mayor as a person, that's how we treat that statement. After his statement, we break bread together, we eat together. He walked in. And he also said we will continuously perpetuate peace and stability. So there's no marriage into that. So we do not want to have diary on the issues. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Thomas Koijee. I report for Freedom FM and Freedom TV. Honorable Mayor, you talk about moving to waterside very soon.
Thank you so much.
So what are plans for your government, the city government of Monrovia, to address the ways of peace in waterside? And what are also plans that you guys have on board to address the bad odor of central Monrovia?
Well, it's a long-age project. You know, sometimes when you see some of these things, people say, flipping through the pages, we were made to understand that Monrovia was, well, Monrovia, let me not ask you there before it becomes a debate, but Monrovia was built or constructed for a small amount of people are inhabited. And I think those people who built Monrovia, when you take into consideration now, Monrovia is possibly more than 1.5 million inhabitants. So, if take for example, if Monrovia had been perceived to be constructed or built for 200,000 inhabitants, And we're talking about close to 2 million persons currently who are in Monrovia. You will obviously get to know that those facilities that were constructed will be overwhelmed. Those facilities will come on shock. So again, it's not an excuse, it's reality associated with, with any condition. So as it is now, we're working with water and sewer to see how we can readjust and conform to the given reality of the city. If you hear there's 2 schools of thought, there are other people who believe that the city should be relocated because it's quite congested as it is. Because it cannot conform with the given reality of the people, of its inhabitants. So I'm not going to say it to you here because I'll be on the microphone and say it to you. I try hard not to deceive myself, rather deceive someone. I try to remain very authentic. There are challenges, and those challenges we must be very frank with them. Was not created by people who are currently in state in governance. What we're trying to do is to find solutions. But those solutions that we're trying to find will not be magical. Those solutions will be what we refer to gradual or historical gradualism. Like one step at a time. So what is taking place in Waterside is not just you see, it is, that is a, what you call a tip of the iceberg. It is a whole sewage system in central Monrovia. The whole sewage system in central Monrovia. So you can't just run to Waterside and you think you're solving the issue. There are a lot of things happening, even latrines where people construct theirs and all those things. So it's a whole case. So as we speak to you, we're working with some of our international partners where we can just solve that and solve it holistically. So as it is now, water and sewer, trying to see how we can provide temporary solution until we can find a holistic solution that will in turn become perpetual. On the aspect of one side, as you can be aware, during the epicenter of COVID, our people was being congested on one side, and we tried to engage in upliftment, changing their condition into something more appreciable. But it goes down one side, you see some of our people who quote unquote were seized with political offices and quest for political office, became savior overnight and became advocate overnight in the interest of our people, and thought that our engagement to our people to change their condition was wrong. But we saw them, we know those comments were impregnated with political shenanigans. They got no true interest of the people. Those are mere job seekers who prey on the vulnerability of the people and crave for their sympathy to launch them into offices. Evident to the fact, see where it's transpiring on the side. Things have been disorganized. No true advocate will remain quiet on that. But again, the office have been secured, the interests of the people are dissipated in thin air. We know them, and the people get to know them very soon. So we're going back to say to our people, you need to reorganize yourself. Those tables were constructed by taxpayer money so that it can be utilized by you. We want to reorganize Waterside so people can have passage. So this is the beginning. We're launching it. The Director General is here. We're also trying to talk about our people that will move in and we'll communicate with our people. So hopefully next month, when the tables are turned over to them, they can begin to use them. And all of them in the street will be able to inform them. We'll not be surprised people will come back again and say they want to speak in the interest of our people. But we're not surprised with that. Gentlemen, can we now
Thank you. Just before you leave, I have a question for you, Mayor.
All right, Emmanuel, you want to say something again?
I want to thank you for your openness to the media. The name is Augustine Stein, report from 2000. I have two questions for
Augustine,
you.
what your name again?
Augustine Stein,
Oh, Augustine Style.
and I report from 2000.
Thank you.
My first question has to do with the delegation that is in the university. There have been reports on social media from a political commentator as well that you have an invitation for the diaspora, but the specific is not known as to whether you are going for SYZ meeting or you are just trying to portray as one of those persons who have sent invitation. And the second question has to do with, we know the name Jefferson Koijee. We read newspapers, we read articles before the radio. You've been one of those advocates in this country. The recent trending issue has to do with the establishment of war and economic food. You've been a man who believes in accountability. Are you still on the full path, the trending of supporting the establishment of the vote?
Well, quite frankly, time of our number, I make my view clear. Yeah? I haven't minced my words. I was advocating as a youth leader, as a youth activist. I got no intention. You see, that's the uniqueness of our governance. We were born at Koijee, and we got no intention to change. What we did years back, we still remain true to our principles. When we were advocating on issues here, we were the first government official who said we still believed in the full establishment of said code. That is not my first and not my second. And I know what you're getting to about my being a marathon. You know, sometimes not everything you respond to. Times is evidence of misconception. But because you put it through a lot of people call me, for the record, say I received an invitation from Chicago mayor. That is a blatant lie. I received no invitation, no mayor has written me, but I go and see the scenario. I've been invited by the mayor, and he said I have to be waiting for a letter of guarantor. A high-risked personality to the U.S. government, and you say a mayor will interfere with an FBI investigation. That's to the point and find the character who speak and the character who make known of some session. But it's not the character, it is you, the listening audience. Define yourself. Because the character is known. It's you who subscribed. It is you that being defined. And see, what do you accept and what do you consider yourself to be. So we want to say for the public, I know point in time at this office, well, it's not a bad thing if a mayor extend an invitation to us, which of course we've been opting for that a lot. But in the context in which it's been said, the way it's been portrayed, by the way, we understand what Koijee means to a lot of people. And we understand the ripple effect that it causes. We understand the net that it causes to people whenever we appear, whenever the name is being pronounced. We all know sympathy and apology for those people. All we say to them, we pray along with them that they should be able to get over their name very soon. And normally we say to you, it's not people think we're trying to be sarcastic, we're not. And I say to you, I'm one person, I'm not a medical practitioner. So I've got no medicine for personal bitterness. But someone who is bitter, you just need to intervene, you need to help, you need to seek, physicians So they get involved. I'm a political man. I do political things here. And that's why I'm not bothered about what people say about me. Because it's to say it's easy. To prove, of course, that not everything has been said is proven. So once you cannot prove, you have the luxury to say whatever you want to say. But we are confident and we are focused. But we have a piece of job to do here. We are grateful to His Almighty God for the President giving us or reposing His confidence in us as long as we are. Quote unquote, with our limitation that people may want to subscribe. But He looked into us and saw a molecule of potential. And He decided to trust us. We are grateful for that. We feel burdened that what we do here will live after us. So that young people can have the courage that we too can be with just a serious responsibility. And when those trusts are bestowed upon us, delivery is also certain. So we focus ourselves on solving those issues. So some of our friends who stay believe and stay catching fever over our presence, all we do, we pray for them for speedy recovery. And not too long. But we here, make no mistake, we are not visitors. We're not here to visit, we're here to stay. And while staying here, we're here to deliver on those that's been given up. So we want to say to you, good friend, we're here, and certain things will change for the evidence that's associated with this. We don't go after trying to prove or to validate. We are who we are, and we don't seek your permission.
Do you support the establishment of the welfare code?
I said that 100%. 100%. We have no detour around that.
Yeah, let me ask the final question. I'm not working for you, bro. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is the last and final question.
Yeah, very final.
Chinua, ask a question today.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Again, my name is Emmanuel Davis, and this is Online Sophisticated Fortune Television. You know, I do know that I'm going back to Lofa. I do know that Lofa does live on past glory, the bread basket. The basket is there, but there is no bread. But that is not an issue. There are speculations that Lofa is not prepared to receive the president. This is one of the main reasons why the trip time was changed to next month. Simply because one of their sons that was overwhelmingly elected during the December polls is up to now being held, and he's not yet in office, and that vacuum is still there for all the day. What do you have to say to that? The B, and finally, the first floor of the city government of Monrovia. Over the past months, I've seen like 3, 4, 5, or 6 buckets on the first floor that place close to your office that is leaking news. What are you doing about that as a city government? You have strangers coming in from different countries, your friends are coming, and they do see buckets on your floor that is, virtually trying to get water from your leaking ceiling or somewhere. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. You see, that's why it's very good. And the role you're playing, normally when you say you are challenged, people say, oh, the mayors, but if you can say you see bucket here, it's a fair promotion that the city government needs assistance. This anywhere you rent 10% top on town, it faces severe challenges. And we hope that all our leadership will be able to change and have a new brand better. By it is, we stay managing of it, and there are some places here we stay moving to. Well, it's good you've seen it, and sometimes it's there that we find pleasure, and we want to mark it. It's there because of the challenges it's faced with, and it's good that a person like you can begin to say it publicly, so that when we say these things, it's not just about Mayor Koijee, even a respectable journalist like you. I think you need to take a picture of that, and you can make on your own round team. There's some of our brothers around who can do very well. can begin to look down, because the city hall is not Koijee dwelling place. It's a representation of everyone. If it looks very bad, it signifies the negativity that represents what occurs everywhere. So I think it's also good that we begin to see those things and we begin to help each other. I admire that. And when you go journalists, you got go right there, he's saying very well. That's something he's saying is right in the middle of the road. We are struggling to do that. We're having to find military, we're back and forth. We're struggling how to pay these people. We're also struggling how to deal with what you call the fuel, and how to get cash on labor. Still have so much money. At the same time, we have forbidding, we have banking assistance for a very long period of time. For you journalists to not know that this dealing with the government situation is speak about. I think it's good that we, as a people, we will begin. We hope that only in Georgia we have leadership, we continue to lead the world. But we can be able to build this place, we'll build a Nathan Ross. You see how long Nathan Ross stayed here for? Since 1956. Do you see Nathan Ross there? He served from 1956 to 1970. So the bill where he wrote that said 1956. Can you imagine? It's been a pretty long time. And we stay here. So you think we build like this, we build a golf, we serve. That's not the only place you saw. The other place down in the theater, you will also go to the theater. So we begin to have less money sing. So not just when the government have people around, when you're in the broad, you're following, and you say, this city need your assistance. So we say it, you can say, Koijee explain politics. On the issue about Lofa, I don't want to delve into when you say report Lofa. Time and evidence to prove itself. The people of Lofa to say, I've said to you the cause. Well, opinion is like gnosis. Everybody is entitled to it. If you feel very opinionated about what I said about you, that is it. But what I do know about, that's why I've come to the microphone to let you know. To say the challenges that we engage in, and we're very honored. We're very pleased that this president has said to us, he's going to give the Lofa Road a facelift before he's arrived. I think that is honorable. I know our people. If our people are not prepared, it's not Joe going to make them prepared. Let me tell you, Lofians are straight people. We do not pretend. It doesn't matter whether you take 20 years or what. Take for example, Lofa is the only county, and we see this very clearly. It tells you the kind of people we are. It is the only county that when Ambassador won 14 counties, Lofa consistently stood alone. Not that, because it is a county that believes in what is believing. It is a country that stands what it stands for. So there's no kind of political chicanery, and you think you can represent or you can try to portray what is not it is. On this note, we do not expect every single person in Lofa County to share the view that we share. But we can say to you that the people, our elders, and the vast majority of the people, the sons of daughters, who Lofa is a part of this country, we got no intention to separate and to demand the county benefits that other countries are benefiting. But no, Lofa is not an island. Lofa is part of our country. And we, since 1964, all the president taught them that this country was being recognized. The country enjoyed being part of this country. The country got no intention to misrepresent its people. Well, at the same time, there are people with different political persuasion. We respect the right, and they too also respect us for being. The issue that have to do with court, well, you journalists, you confuse me seriously. Issue that have to do with court matters, somebody say you go to court and you come again. Well, by the way, that is your rule. My rule is to respond. Your rule is to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor Koijee. Distinguished colleagues of the press, this is how we come to today.